Hey, welcome back to the Caribou Data Science channel. This is your Wednesday afternoon live stream. Uh, Today's subject matter is going to be on Talend, the data integration tool. Today we're going to demonstrate how to create two different dimension tables. That don't be, a dimension table is just a table kind of a lot of times changed is used in a data warehouse to do joins and make reporting easier, but it's still just a database table, okay? So anyway, we're going to create we're going to create two dimension tables. First, a customer table, which includes the country name, the ISO code for available, region, sub-region, and world region, along with population, gross national product, and what other thing I can't recall what it is right now. So anyway, let's start with the dimension commodity. Hopefully the easier of the two. First, of course, we got to come down here, right? And we got to import some data. We got to create a couple. We're going to create a couple of tables. We're going to do one for national, right? Right, that one for now. I had to stop and think there for a moment. Let's do a browse. Data files. We're going to do national. Okay. We don't actually have. Let's see. Let's cancel this. There's national. We got national here. I forgot what tables I wanted to use. National, right? No, countries and subnational, right? Yeah, countries and subnational. So we're going to create an Excel. We're going to try to import the two things. Let's see. Countries. The item already exists. Where? Where does country already exist? Huh. Countries, let's do this again. Import countries. It's an Excel file, so we're going to say Excel countries. The advantage to using Excel is that it preserves the data column types. Okay, and as you can see, headings. Like I said, it preserves the data types. Okay. Now we're interested in country, region, population, happiness, and HDI, and per capita, okay? But we have more than one columns in that. Country, meta, all right? And one more, subnational, should be what we're looking for here. Subnational. Again, looking for the Excel file. Headers. So that should be all right. Let's come back over here to country. Edit file. Next. Next. There's a couple things we want to change in here if I can find it. Okay, well, what we want to change is, let's do the fun one first. Let's do the now here's what we want to change. We want to change population of float is fine, I think. Let's make that a long. Let's make that a long. Well, let's try a float. See how the float works. I think I may have to use a long. I used a long before, but because per capita is okay. So now what we want to do is to pull out the capitals. Let's see. We can pull out country. Okay, take a look at this. Okay, good. Let's put countries down here. And now let's put subnational over here. Now, what we want to do now is we want to create a map. Okay. Now we come over here, and now we do the math. Now the magic takes place. Okay. We want to let's call this out to keep it simple. Okay. Then we come over here. And pull those over here also. ISO, region, ISO, region, world region. And let's move ISO up just for the aesthetic reason. And so now we're going to be doing the join, okay, on the country because not all the countries have regions, okay. Now I'm going to move this up here also. Okay. This is just style. All right. So now we got all of our columns for our dimension table, okay? Now we're going to do our join. You could highlight that, then come down to where the country is. And this is where you're at right here now. Now normally there are some ways here to make adjustments to this, but unfortunately I'm not quite sure what it really is. And what this should be giving us is the equivalent of a left join in SQL, where you keep, in this case, the primary table was the country, so we pull all the rows from the country table, and then the and then the other one is a well, it's the lookup table. So we're going to pull all the rows from country and only the matching rows from the subnational, okay? Just to make sure. All right. Let's go over here then. Take a look at this. That looks good. Let's check the so that's country. It's a little bit country. So let's see what happens here now. My friends, and that looks pretty doggone good. Okay. Let's scroll back up and make sure we got all the, yeah, so we got country, ISO, region, subregion, world region, and we should have population, HDI, and GDP. So next we're going to take this and we're going to write it out to a Excel file. Okay. And we're going to call that. We're going to use the 2007 in there. So now we're going to create a dim countries, okay? Include header. Now let's see what happens. So we just accomplished something very important, and that's using the tmap function to do a join, okay, and also to use tmap function to select the output columns also. And that was that was my stumbling block, getting the getting the join to work. There's a join function, but I actually think tmap is more useful because not only can you do joins, I guess you do multiple levels of joins, but you can also select the columns you want to output, okay? Okay, so let's come over here. Dim countries. You know what? And I'm feeling a little frisky right now. I'm a little overconfident. So I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to do it and write it and write the table to a Postgres database. Okay. After we look at this. Now, if we're using SQL, we could, of course, just write the SQL query for with in the first place, and not even bother with the joins. You know, because you can do anything with SQL you want to, and provided that you're using the correct connection. If you're using a what's this mean? Oh, you know what the trouble was? Daggone, I forgot to. So how many rows do we have? That is the correct answer, my friends. But I want you to notice here that I want you to notice we got a lot of regions missing, and we got a lot of ISOs missing. And of course, what we could do is we could go out, look for the ISO codes, and then update the database ourselves, and using one way or another. Okay, but you know what? That's a subject for another video. All right. So one dimension table down and one to go. Or do we actually want to try? Yeah, what the heck? Like I said, I'm feeling a little frisky right now. I'm gonna come back over here, and I'm gonna try to write it out to Postgres. So what do you say we get a little frisky here and see what we can do about creating a database table? Schema. Always, you know, I say always put the schema. You know, even if it's just a generic public one, okay? Now, this should be the name of the table we want to create. All right. And we want to drop if exists and do an insert. Let's take a look at the columns over here. So that looks good. So first of all, just to show that there's nothing up my sleeve, we'll take a look at the essays. This database, of course, as all databases do anymore, this has to do with carbon emissions and carbon footprints and stuff like that for different countries. Now we could, in fact, read the data from the database to begin with, but that's a subject, again, that's a subject for a different video. There's our database, our schema. And what you see here is the basic, is the four different things. Commodity trade is the commodity trial. It has one row for each country, for each commodity, and for each year. Country is the one we just worked with, national, product, and subnational. Actually, I don't know if, I don't think we actually had a product table, did we? No. So anyway, so there, as you can see, there is no dimension tables there, all right? So let's just check this here real quick, make sure we're doing okay. We take a deep breath now and come over here. Now this may not work. Yeah, for whatever reason it doesn't work. That could have something to do with fail to generate code. Now it's possible. See, failed to generate, that's all it says. And the problem's back over here someplace. So this should be okay. All right? All this should be okay. And we know it works with as an Excel file, right? We know it works as an Excel file. We can close this. Is there anything over here that's not right? Maybe I forgot to put, well, I guess not, because, okay, I thought maybe I forgot to put the, good grief. Okay, so we'll leave this for another time, okay? Now the commodity is a little bit more interesting. The commodity actually comes from well, the commodity actually comes from someplace. And I got it to work the other day. Let's do another delimited file. And the commodity trade is the full one. We'll go Windows, come over here. This is going to be commas. Now here's the magic. The magic is in this CSV function. What happens if you look right here, you can see it says inside of quotes it says sheep, comma, lie. Well, what happens is if we just do a comma delimiter, all it does is just it thinks that's two columns and it messes up your alignment. So what you want to do is you want to say, hey, no, these are not part of the field. You use an escape character for the backslash when it says this surrounds the, because as it is, it's going to think that the quotes are actually part of the field itself. So by coming down here and saying backslash, okay, it's going to treat that as if it's that's what it's going to treat the content, the text within the quotes as being a single field, as you'll see. So now it's correct, okay? Next. The commodity code, is there anything longer here? Commodity trade. Let's try float to start out with. May not be right because I get an error on these two columns right here sometimes, okay? And it could just be okay, it could just be that we shouldn't have to delete that. The only problem I've had is with the trade USD and the weight in kilograms. And I can't remember I use float or I use long with it. Okay, so let's come here first of all. Do a row. Log. You know what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to use a T-map first of all. This is select the columns. We could use, of course, so what are we doing? We're doing commodity. And commodity. Okay. Now I believe trade USD weight is actually the I don't well, I don't know. I mean it could be the actual price per unit. It could be the weight per unit. No, it's not, because each row is for one country for 1 year and for one commodity. Okay, so the U.S. dollars and the weight would be the total for that year, for that country, for that commodity. Okay, what we want to do is, of course, at some point we want to do some. Okay, so now we got that. Move that back over here. Now we're going to do it. Now we're going to do it. Now we're going to do the aggregate function. Okay. Sync columns. There. And that should be all we have to do for that, because we're not doing any operations, okay? Now it'd be nice if we could come down here. Now the obvious thing to do would be to first filter out. They just filter out for a single country, you know, and then do it that way and see what happens. But let's move this back over here a little way. Let's go over here. Main. And also, all we should be getting should be the output from the aggregate functions. Let's see what happens here. Basic, print headers. Connection. I mean, we should really try to filter out something over here. So if I don't know how to do an expression in in TMAP, okay. But if this will work, this will be good enough for today. Okay, good. So it looks pretty doggone good. Okay, so let's come up here, and as we like to do, delete that. Go over here. Now we're going to create another Excel file. And we're going to call this, we're going to do it as an XLXS. And we're going to call this include headers. Now come over here and run this. And I think there's like 1,000 1,000 products or something like this. And by the way, I am going to put a table of contents down in the description because for you to be able to go directly to whichever section you want to work on. So now let's come over here. And again, this is two very important things we accomplished here today. Because these are the two skills that's kind of holding me back a little bit. I couldn't figure out how to. Now, of course, the next step is to figure out how to write them out to a database. And here you have it. How many rows? 5,000 products. So, my dear friends, with that, I'm going to say so long and thanks for the fish. Of course, be sure to come back to 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, that's New York time, for another live stream tonight. We're going to continue to, as we do, work with ChatGPT to do data analytics on various data sets, maybe even another. But I was so pleased with the results we had last night, as that I was so pleased with results last night. The two things we're going to continue to do the same process of doing SQL, R, and Python, or maybe it's SQL and Python or SQL and R, and use ChatGPT to analyze the data. You know, that really, I was really pleased with the results last night. So come back this evening. Maybe we'll go back and look at some old Tidy Tuesday data or something like that, just to see what kind of mischief we can get ourselves into. Again, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Hey, be sure to click the bell icon. Be sure to click the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I go live or upload new content. Okay, thanks so much for your time, folks. As always, I do